Hello, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Paraguay On. For those who don't know me, new to the channel, my name is Anna. I come here to pass information to all Brazilians, those who live here in Paraguay, those who have friends, or those who live in Brazil. There was a judgment that can no longer be appealed in any way in the Supreme Court third panel with a unanimous vote, where they report that parents do not have absolute autonomy over their children when it comes to vaccinating their children against COVID-19. For those who did not vaccinate their children, had the option not to vaccinate and do not want to vaccinate, be alert as you will be charged. There have already been parents who went to court where they lost in all instances and were fined to pay more than 3 minimum wages, so there is no further appeal. Parents are obliged to vaccinate their children. Children in Brazilian territory must have the COVID-19 vaccine in their vaccination card. Stay alert for everyone and follow the reports for do you wish to take. Thank you very much. Stay with God.
From now on, Pitoli and parents who do not vaccinate their minor children against COVID-19 will be fined according to the decision of the third panel of the Superior Court of Justice. What's it like? Is it? Will parents be fined if they do not vaccinate their minor children against COVID-19? This Victoria issue came into discussion after the parents of an 11-year-old girl refused to vaccinate their daughter, which was noticed by the school when it found that this child lacked immunization. In their defense, the parents argued that they could not be punished because the National Immunization Plan, it does not provide for mandatory vaccination. The young woman's family presented a medical certificate that contraindicates vaccination against COVID-19. After being notified by the Public Ministry of Paraná, those responsible Pistoli were fined and need to pay a fine of approximately 4,000 BRL. For the Minister Rapporteur of this case, Nancy Adrig, the autonomy of parents cannot be considered absolute. And in cases of refusal, vaccination can be characterized as parental neglect, subject to sanction by the state, except in situations involving physical or psychiatric vulnerabilities. Oh, John.
Just a minute.
That's it?
For the COVID vaccine.
In that case, yes. According to the rapporteur, the objective is to seek the unity of the population in an effort to eradicate several diseases that plague society. She stated the following, opens quotation marks. Childhood vaccination does not only mean the individual protection of children and adolescents, but represents the collective pact for the health of all in order to eradicate diseases or minimize their consequences, ensuring a healthy and protected childhood. Do you close quotes? I think the most important statement from her here, Pitoli, is that the autonomy of parents cannot be considered absolute.
Countries that refuse to vaccinate their children against COVID-19, they can be fined. The person who explains this STJ decision to us is Soraya Lawandi, who has information directly from São Paulo. Soraya, good morning to you. You're welcome.
Hi, Nonato. Very good morning to you. Excellent Friday to all. Well, this decision is from the third class of Superior, which unanimously understood that parents' autonomy is not absolute. Then ministers decided that parents can be fined if they refuse to vaccinate their children against COVID-19. After the recommendation and approval of the immunizers by the health authorities, ministers during a session this Tuesday analyzed a couple's appeal against the decision of the Paraná court that ordered the payment of a fine of 3 minimum wages for refusing to immunize their daughter, 11 years old. That's in 2022. The child's lack of vaccination was identified at the municipal school she attended. The institution notified the parents as well as the guardianship council, but the parents refused to refer AA. Immunization, the public ministry, including Paraná, also notified the family. In response, the parents presented a medical certificate of contraindication to the application of the vaccine. However, the technical team of the Operational Support Center for Public Health Protection, public prosecutors' offices of the Public Ministry of Paraná analyzed the case, concluded that the contraindication was improper, and therefore there was application of this fine in the amount of 3 minimum wages. In this session, therefore, on Tuesday, the ministers followed the vote of the rapporteur, Minister Nancy Andrighi, to reject the appeal and also maintain this fine. The minister, during her speech, highlighted the obligation of childhood immunization also provided for in the Children and Adolescent Statute. For the minister, the refusal would violate the duties of family power. Let's listen then to an excerpt from the minister's speech during the session.
Childhood vaccination does not only mean the individual protection of children and adolescents, but represents a collective pact for the health of all in order to eradicate diseases or minimize their sequelae, ensuring a healthy and protected childhood.
The minister, during her speech, also highlighted that children's right to health is protected by the ECA and that mandatory vaccination is provided for in Article 14, except in cases where there is a risk to the child's psychophysical integrity.